more interesting counter jungling right here. You typically don't see this, but the pressure so far up on the lanes of ESC.
Oh boy, Snowflower trying to flash away, gets scooped back in with the Emperor's Divide. No magical journey for you. Meanwhile, a little bit of revenge possibly coming in from the ESC side. They do get it, and Bless will go down, so Afreeca Freecs able to claim 2 after that kill on the Snowflower.
Yeah, maybe not the fight you're looking for if you're on a tier Cull Ezreal in that interaction. Ixu did actually cancel his TP during that fight, so Crazy can look for a chance to make another play, as long as they're very confident that Mickey won't follow through. But that's a lot of crowd control, again, to fight against at this stage of the game while you're still looking to scale. So probably not a fight there that ESC should have been looking to take.
Well, you got to wonder if they were lulled into a bit of a false sense of security after how easily the last game went. Yeah, things are very different now.
Doesn't really make a big difference. We're looking at a minor gold difference.
True.
And still more kills on the jungler. Only boon for Afreeca is at least Songyun picked one up, but he's so far behind that he and Loken are effectively equal in gold when we consider the CS.
All right. Seems like there might be a little bit of interest with this Cloud Drake.
Shouldn't be for ESC. They can give this one up.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Snowflower's going to take another magical journey out, leaves Lyra kind of on his own, but here comes Ixu onto Key. That's going to be potentially a kill, maybe? No, magical journey, all right. I don't know if he meant to take that magical journey. Either way, it gets him out. Temp coming back in, looking for some kills on this Azir. 2 already for Mickey, though. And ESC on the run once again. Oh boy, that was right into the Gragas. Got him right in the Gragas.
4 for the support for ESC.
I don't know if that's worth it.
You don't fight these fights early, Doa. Explosive Cask up again, Enchanted Crystal Arrow up again. Mickey's ult wasn't there, but they commit so much to that. Why? You're just looking to scale.
I don't know. One wonders if maybe this was the game we were supposed to see in game number 1.
Keen is going to run around the circle right there. Doesn't have his ultimate yet, and then ESC tries to clean this one up, but again, Loken is just sitting on the Cull and the tier right now. I don't sure if he had Sheen, but still not a whole lot when it comes to items. He went for the greedy build, and I guess Mickey...
All right, well, then you just die to Bless sometimes.
Yeah, why not? You know, why ult yourself? Why ult Bless? I don't know.
Why not just die?
Why not just die?
And then why not play some lovely polka music?
Well, it's been an interesting series today, Doa. ESC, it's a Cloud Drake. Just let it go. You had huge farm advantages, 20 CS in both of your side lanes. You can just get gold and power up your Trundle so that he can continue split pushing forever. Make sure Loken actually has the necessary items to fight. Instead, go back into the massive engaged crowd control of Afreeca, not the plan you want. And now you find yourself 1,000 gold down.
Yeah. Man. Why is there not an Easter Bunny Bard skin yet? It could be like hunting for eggs all around the map.
That's a really good idea, Doa.
He carries a basket and he throws other little eggs at people. Or gets followed around by little rabbits. I don't know.
It gets followed around by little chicks.
Yeah, there you go. Peeps, kind of.
Yeah, peeps, not meeps.
Yeah, peeps. They get so perfect. Oh, explosive cask used, but Afreeca couldn't lock down the kill onto Crazy. There you go. Easter Bunny Bard. I don't know why this is not a thing.
Peeps, not meeps?
Yeah.
It's great.
It is great.
He would look cute, too.
Another great
fluffy,
skin idea.
A fluffy pink bunny outfit.
Yeah.
With ears. Just hopping around Summoner's Rift.
It is so perfect.
Maybe they can prepare that for next year, Doa.
Maybe. They've got some time.
They have a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, all right, we'll be taking that. And we'll be taking your life as well. Mickey trying to walk out, gets exhausted, ults himself. Has he bought enough time, though? Oh, two-shot barrage comes through. Arrow onto Key. Mickey's still alive for the moment anyway. Trying to get away, dodges the Tempered Fate. Or maybe he shouldn't have dodged the Tempered Fate, actually. Meanwhile, Rift Herald taken by the Afreeca Freecs.
You know, we can ask questions, Stella, like why was Mickey in the bottom side of the river while his team was taking the Rift Herald?
That's a good question.
Probably the least safe part of the map that you can be in at that point in time, and he pays for it with his life.
Yeah.
Bless actually was really trying to give the kill over to Tempt right there because He really doesn't want any more kills this game.
You know,
got 4 of his team's 5 kills.
Thing is ESC Ever is really kind of making a comeback here.
Yeah, they weren't that far behind.
No, and this is still a wide open game.
Sure. Just gotta make sure that they can keep Loken safe and dodge out on some of this engage. Hopefully prevent a teleport flank from Ixu. So warding game going to be important here for ESC. And
I mean, one thing that they have in their favor is that Mickey's having a really off day today. Just not looking very great.
Nope.
Not on that LeBlanc, and now not so good on the Lysandre either.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of gold differential in favor of Afreeca and everybody except for their jungler. So Bless still accomplishing quite a bit. Gonna walk into Ixu. Ixu does not have MR.
So he will run. Run so far away.
Gallop.
Gallop so far away. You know where the word gallop comes from?
No, do you?
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking. Because I mean, when back in like the olden days when people were talking about horses running around, they're like, that horse is running, and then some guy randomly is like, no, it's galloping. And they're like, what does gallop mean? And he's like, it's just what a horse does.
Well, you could say that about any word, Doa.
Sure.
And I'm not sure which origin gallop comes from, but it definitely comes from another language, just like every single word in English.
Right. We got a lot of complicated stuff in English. So good for us. Magical journey. What? That was odd. Ooh, Ash Arrow goes through. Bless gets ulted. They're going in on this one. Tempered Fate on the tempt for the moment. Bless very, very low. Mickey looking for the kill. He's going to find one.
Bless was like,
Bless.
My pounces it up.
It's like, this is my life now. And now trying to lock down Crazy. Looks like they will be able to. It's going to be a 1v5. Yep.
Wow, Crazy just totally caught there. And yeah, no, he definitely should not have flashed.
Yeah.
Tried to come in for a flank, didn't even use his teleport, just simply walked into the river and got caught out immediately thereafter.
This game's been pretty messy.
Yeah, and it's okay. If they want to dive a turret and use a bunch of summoner spells and ults to kill one person, that's fine. Like, they weren't going to take a turret off of that. The wave clear was still there from the Azir, so just let them do it. Just a few hundred gold, not the end of the world.
Yeah. And
just try and stabilize and, again, play for the late game. Instead, they give up an unnecessary kill also. They're not going to use their teleport to get into the top lane, it would appear.
Very odd. I mean, and as clean as ESC Ever closed out game number 1, it's quite the different story here in game 2.
Yeah, no patience like we saw from them in the first game, and they don't even have 3 tiers this time. The principle is the same. Get the Trundle absolutely massive and then just have him wreck. Crazy didn't appear to have any qualms with split pushing in the first game of this series.
Yeah. And they're not out of it yet, but they're taking steps in that direction.
They didn't lose any objectives even though they lost 2 kills.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very small and slow snowball that's happening for Afreeca. Still entirely preventable.
I mean, you think that's probably the last time they're going to be able to lose a fight like that and not lose an objective afterwards, you know?
Yeah, probably.
Gotta be careful.
TP coming in.
Yep. Bless, I believe, is aware they're trying to catch him. Cosmic Binding dodges the enchanted crystalline arrow. Songyun's not been hitting a whole lot of those tonight yet.
But the TP is going to turn into an objective for them, and Afreeca could use these forms of engage so liberally simply because they have essentially an infinite number of them. There's always going to be something up for them to make picks with on this composition, and that's a nice play. So use the TP, zone them out. They don't quite get the red buff, but it's going to be hard for them to, for ESC rather, to actually siege the mid lane, and they have no pressure on the bottom because the Azir is there without TP.
Yeah. Afreeca motioning back towards the mid lane now. Dragon's up in about a minute. Something to consider. Not sure which one it is yet.
Something to consider giving up if you're ESC.
Yeah, unless it's something like an Infernal Drake, you probably don't want to fight too hard for it.
They have... Afreeca has all the advantages right now. They have their tier 1 turret still up in the bottom lane, so they can over-push the lane down to the tier 2, help out with the vision control. Sang-Yoon going on a mission right now to accomplish just that.
And we'll see what dragon it is, or what drake it is, rather. Remember, the dragons used to be drakes.
Now they're...
Or the other way around.
The other way around.
You know what I mean.
The exact opposite of what you say? Yes, I've learned that about you, Dell.
There you go.
Temp going to grab the blue buff. And still the setup going to continue, but rough spot here for Loken. Still without the Muramana, likely to be so for another 3 to 4 minutes. So fighting the next Drake may be the time, especially because it's of the other Cloud Drake. What do you know? 5 Cloud Drakes in a row.
I know that it's Season 6.
These are great for Afreeca. If they want to continue making picks and using this engage all around the map, getting a couple Cloud Drakes will aid them in their endeavor.
1-1 this game. As far as where the Dragons ended up. Ash Arrow onto Loken, but where's the follow-up? Lyra, there's the explosive cast. Loken flashing, arcane shifting away. He'll be able to make it out. Well, they got the flash, so I guess that's nice.
And the chimes are still coming in.
Those are the chimes for the beeps, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he slowed down a little bit. While Lyra, did he get the Raptors? Ouch. Got a spear. Spear in the rear.
It's all right. He's got plenty of cushioning, though. I shouldn't be hurt to give too bad.
It's true. You might not even notice. And Afreeca putting a little bit of pressure on this bottom side of the map. But not much.
No.
Almost none at all, in fact.
So ESC has stabilized. They're not taking fights they shouldn't.
Ooh, okay. Tempered Fate onto
Oh,
Temp.
man.
See if they can close it
Wow,
out.
nice job from Tempt.
Just going to get away that easily.
So,
Wow.
Man, Mickey could have flashed, actually, to make sure that he landed the Frozen Tomb and actually kept the chain of CC going.
Yeah.
So Afreeca not looking as polished with the CC chain as a team like MVP, who we've seen get ganks like that pretty consistently and actually execute them. Key is not the guy you want to go after right there.
Well, they get the Alistar ultimate. They're going to just do damage. Like, well, whatever. we caught him.
Use 3
we'll
ults for that, but they're not going to get the mid lane turret, so... All right. I did say they had a lot of ults to use for this. They still have the Onslaught of Shadows. That's the last major engage tool that they possess. But the Hecarim not going to be interested in actually fighting there.
I mean, Ash's Enchanted Crystal Arrow is pretty much all the time up and ready to use, so they can kind of count on that being around if they need it.
Well, Alistar will be back by that time. But yes, won't have the Unbreakable Will. Still not a lot to fight for. Still no attempt by, well, there was an attempt at the Rift Herald. Ping's actually now by Afreeca onto the Herald. That is sort of important for both of these teams, particularly ESC, but a denial would be nice so that they can actually stop this Trundle from 1v1ing the Hecarim as the game goes on.
And a bit of a lull in the action.
Those are your favorite, Noah.
I know, right? I live for the lulls. I live for the lulls.
You do live for the lulls.
Just
I
like
believe
Twitch
you.
chat. Yeah, it's true. Whoa! And Loken just gets completely run over by Ixu.
Yeah, Trinity Force done. Not much you're going to be able to do. He needs that Blade of the Ruined King to prevent Ixu from getting on top of him and actually be able to kite. Loken also with no flash. Ixu used his ghost for that. Loken's flash is one of the most important facets of this game for ESC.
Yeah, without it, they are going to have a really hard time keeping him safe so he can do that consistent damage in the late game.
Yeah, the problem for Afreeca, though, is they've got great engage. That's not a problem. They can dive turrets, but then they have an Ashe and a Lissandra afterwards to actually try and take down turrets. So not the best wave clear from ESC, but they've got enough, and Ash walking up, still a danger to get engaged upon, and they're going to try looking at a collapse right here.
Yeah, perhaps. Turret goes down. Teleport coming in for the Afreeca Freecs. Ash arrow onto Bless. Big Emperor's Divide comes through, but doesn't accomplish a whole lot. Kills coming in immediately for the Afreeca Freecs. One already for Mickey. They're going to get zoned out a bit by the pillar.
You can't be the ones engaging if you're ESC. You have to be grouped up, and you have to kite as a unit. Afreeca can try and use this opportunity to take an early Baron, or at least bait it.
Yeah.
They don't have any of their ults. They don't even have the Hecarim ult, so still a risk here. They're only up one player.
And they've got the explosive cast, but that's about it. Here we go, ESC coming in. They're backing away there. Bless on the outside of the fight along with Loken doing a lot of damage. And they've got Afreeca on the run. Explosive cast used to try to split up the fight. But that was a pretty ill-advised Baron attempt. Bless going to just follow through. Gets hit with the Cosmic Binding, but crazy right there as well. And Snowflower's not making it out of this one. Give that kill to Loken. There we go. That is who you want to have the gold now.
You can't do that. You need those ultimates to be able to turn that team fight. And you killed the Azir, sure, so you're not going to get the Sand Soldiers in the pit, but Songyun gets bounced around. Loken is right there to take that delivery. Spear, beautiful from Bless, follows through and nails Loken, or nails the Ashe after the flash, Songyun rather. So then it's pretty easy cleanup from there.
Yep.
Yeah, just all of the ultimates down though. No way to really turn that fight. Ixu, they just had to wait a little bit longer for the onslaught of shadows, but couldn't quite get it in time.
So ESC Ever only about 3,000 gold down now.
2 actually.
More about 2, yeah, you're right.
And Loken has picked up a QSS. He realizes how important that item is for his survivability.
Speaking of important things, there's the Mountain Drake spawning. And if ESC can pick this up, that'll be huge. And right now, it doesn't look like the Afreeca Freecs are going to be able to get there in time to stop it. It's going down fairly quickly, and they'll take it. So that Mountain Drake going over to ESC Ever.
Yeah, they still have to be so careful, though, around the Baron or the Drake.
Right. But
because,
if they can,
if they can steal them from under the nose of Afreeca, that's fine. But
or if they can win a fight.
I mean, ideally here you want to split up the members of Afreeca as much as possible. Okay, they're just going to TP in, all right.
I guess so. It's fighting time. Crazy coming in from behind. Bless gets ulted, gets completely blown up. Ixu trying to get in the back lines, gets knocked up by Key, though, as ESC tries to disengage. Afreeca Freecs with a nice explosive cast. Coming in, they're going to win that fight, and I feel like ESC Ever just demonstrated your point pretty well there.
They got the Mountain Drake, Doa. Look at where the minion wave is in the bottom lane. Crazy could have simply split pushed in the bottom lane with the Mountain Drake while they cleared out the mid lane. Instead, they engage upon the hyper crowd control composition that Afreeca is running, and they find themselves trying to defend against the Baron once more.
They did not need to fight that. Loken throwing in mystic shots on the outside of the pit, doing some damage. The Baron actually getting Afreeca Freecs pretty low, but not going to be able to be stopped. They will get the Baron, and now ESC Ever is in pretty big trouble.
Afreeca has no siege. So as long as you're at the turret, the Nidalee, Azir, and Ezreal are going to be able to work them down. Bless takes a really bizarre magical journey and gets stopped halfway through by the Lissandra ult. Now they try and kite back, but great job from Lyra to get the cask in right as the Temper Fate falls away.
And now we'll see how much the Afreeca Freecs can get out of this Baron.
They still have really poor sieging, but of course they can dive.
Very true.
But I think this one's all sewn up, though. This ESC, as well as they played their composition in game number 1, have completely mismanagement in game number 2, and Afreeca just decides everybody goes in means that ESC isn't going to know how to respond, and their shot calling has not adapted to Afreeca's tactics.
Yeah, certainly seems that way. Looks pretty likely that we're going to go to a game 3. Game 1.
Indeed it does.
Looking like a bit of an anomaly.
Barring some total disaster here, but Ixu is tanking that turret, has to use his ultimate. Also, ultimate, that was just the W used onto Crazy.
That's right. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell.
especially on new Lysandra skins. The crazy pop the subjugate there. Be kind. Soften up Ixu.
Sure. ESC just trying to defend their turret.
This is where it's really hard to siege if you're Afreeca. You have so many melee or short-range champions without mobility, especially the Ashe, so kind of got to split push this one out. And they grab an inhibitor turret, courtesy of Mickey.
Yeah, well, because of the strong defense that ESC Ever can put together underneath turrets, I think the split push is kind of the way you need to go. That's what they're doing.
Gold lead is probably too much for ESC to bounce back from at this stage.
Yep.
So a retreat, plenty of money to spend. If you're Afreeca, just go ahead and push up all the minion waves. You know, they might think about actually going back and using a little bit more of this gold. They've taken down quite a bit as it stands. Looks like Temp did put this the Azir passive turret up in the top lane to protect the inhibitor.
Seems like they're kind of just waiting for the next Drake a little bit too.
Well, they're waiting for this Azir inhibitor to go down, so or Azir turret to go down, which it nearly has. Yep.
All right, ESC trying to poke their opponents out, but it's not going to work. Teleport comes in, brings Mickey back. And ESC having a hard time stopping this. Mickey goes in, 2-man, W, Loken gets ulted. Emperor's Divide pushes Ixu back. Tempered Faith though onto Bless and Tempt, and that's going to be more kills for Afreeca as the Explosive Cask pushes some members of ESC Ever back again. ESC Ever turning around, getting a couple of kills themselves. They might be able to stay alive for the moment. Looks like they can. Messy fight, but in the end, Afreeca Freecs do take the inhibitor.
Yeah, Loken just didn't quite have his flash up yet, so Mickey with a flash of his own able to instantly get in the back line. And although the ult was cleansed off, the follow-up from Ixu was just too much for the Ezreal to handle. And when you fall this far behind, the burst going to be absolutely huge.
That was
from Afreeca. I mean, look at this. There's
nice
the ult. Loken tries to survive with his heal, but doesn't have his flash quite up. Looked like it was about 20 seconds away. That cooldown, so they do get a little bit too greedy, especially Ixu falling back to where Crazy and Bless are. But still grab the kills onto the AD carry and mid laner, which is enough alongside the inhibitor.
Yep. And the lead continues to be at about 10,000 gold, a little bit less for the Afreeca Freecs. Mickey finally having a good game tonight.
Yep. Started out a little bit shaky, but has shown up and knows what his job is, which is kill Loken.
Pretty much.
Loken still wanting for survivability. Not getting a whole lot of help from any of his teammates. Bless now has a QSS too. And you know, late game, if this gold total were even, Doa, the stacking of the QSSs would have been great for ESC. Would have been able just to negate all the crowd control and grind out some of these team fights.
I suppose if the game goes long enough, they can maybe do that, but
It's
I think it's
very
gonna be
unlikely.
Yeah. Here they come again. One inhibitor already down. Afreeca Freecs want to make it 2. Ixu has to back out of the base for the moment.
They have no answer to the Sand Soldier zoning, though, when they group up. You can see how afraid they are of actually committing anything to these sieges.
Whoa! Ixu decides to go in an interesting direction. Has to ult back over the wall to survive. So ult for ult there. Afreeca Freecs pushing again.
They just can't get anywhere close to these turrets.
Apparently not.
That is the problem with this composition. But they can dive them. Again, risky though, diving Alistar, Azir. Doesn't come without any pain. But they're waiting patiently. Super minions are pushing in.
Yep.
Honestly, Ixu should probably be splitting in the top right now.
Oh, Key going in to the head, but Fulbright Loken backs away, nearly gets blown up by Mickey, but he lives for the moment. Temp dodges the Tempered Fate as it comes in. ESC doing everything they can to stay alive in this game, but it's not going to be enough as they are on the run now. Afreeca Freecs get just enough kills. They take out Key, they take out the inhibitor turret, they get that mid inhibitor, and another fight won. It was messy, but they won it.
Yeah, they pulled it off, so they are going to slowly advance their lead right here. Baron is up, however, they are not in the best shape when it comes to health. Ixu will be able to regen a little bit of it, though. Crazy's still going to be checking here around the Baron pit. Looks like Afreeca want to take a moment to recall before they commit to this, but that's going to give ESC a chance to push out the waves and therefore actually make a play possibly at the Baron.
I'm a little bit surprised about that because that does, like you said, give ESC a chance to kind of catch their breath a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to remove the threat of super minions on their Nexus, and it's going to increase the amount of time that Afreeca needs to spend dancing around this Baron.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, it's still a pretty massive lead for Afreeca, and they have 2 inhibitors down, so yeah, still probably on track to win this one pretty easily, but ESC kind of being given some opportunities.
Too many opportunities, in fact. Yeah. Especially in that last play, too. Ixu still had his ult and his ghost up, and he could have been pushing in the super minion wave and top and then flanking from behind onto the turret to create another angle of attack to force ESC just to give up the turret without defending. Instead, they sort of just all ran in from the front.
True.
Which is what you want when you're playing in Azir, and one ultimate can stop the follow-up engage as long as the rest of your teammates are behind you.
빨강 팀의 억제기가 곧 재생성됩니다.
ESC looping around the Baron pit. Afreeca going for a desperation Baron here. See if they can fight it. All right, Tempered Fate on the Bless. They're going to come over the wall. Snowflower takes some damage, though. He's down, he's out. Lyra in trouble as well. Tries to explosive cast. He gets killed off. 2 kills for Tempt. Uh-oh, a big mistake for the Afreeca Freecs. Ixu comes in. Commando mission. Mickey there as well. Gets exhausted, though. Could be in trouble. Ixu starting to wreck people. Bless trying to get away. Mickey is there. Looks like it's probably going to be a kill in the end. Song Yoon picks one up himself. Key and Tempt trying to make it equal. They will get that one.
Loken is just playing a ring around the red pit right now with this Hecarim, but Mickey might find him.
Gets out. He's still alive for the moment. Ixu chasing. Finally gets the kill. Gets 2. And a crazy fight. But Afreeca Freecs will take it in the end. Getting the near ace. Bless still alive, but Ixu and Mickey decide they just want to try to end it right here.
Wow, ESC down 10,000 gold, but finally they get the fight they want, i.e. kiting. Really bad attempt there at a magical journey, but the super minions still just stacking up in the base. Bless the only one left standing.
Yeah, what can you do?
10 seconds on Crazy. Yeah, he can't do anything now.
Might be able to kill Mickey, but he's not going to be able to stop this Hecarim from wrecking his base.
No.
Nope.
Uses the QSS,
Gets
but
ulted.
he just can't quite escape.
Trundle's back. Snowflower's back, though, too. And Mickey will eventually go down. There's the Tempered Fate. Maybe a little bit of time
1 second
here.
on Loken. This is bad.
Ezreal's up. Ixu getting low. He's going to die. Gets knocked away by Key. He's still up. Here comes Tempt, though. Emperor's Divide used immediately. They're going for the Nexus. And they will maybe take it out. Lyra trying to be hero. He flashes. One more auto will do it. And a crazy end to an incredibly messy game. But we are all tied up. Wow. What do you say about that one?
Snowflower, by using the Tempered Fate on the Hecarim, that was so close to a defense by ESC because they didn't have the Hecarim with the Trinity Force attacking that Nexus. So almost a giant misplay, but it doesn't end up costing them as Lyra, with the body slam, the cast to keep people away from him, and the flash is able to dance around the Nexus long enough to take it out. But scary end. And ESC, I think they showed the power of their composition in the late game, but it was just too late. And man, what a risky magical journey to take. That game was just a train wreck, though. There's no other way to put it. Nobody played that game well. Everybody lost.
So for game 3, who knows what's going to happen now? I mean, it really could go any one of a billion different ways. I mean, I guess you could say the team that wins will be the team that plays less bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's ESC or Afreeca's night, which is surprising because Afreeca's had a lot of very good games recently. But
yeah,
especially game one, lots of flaws in their play. Game number two, they at least played aggressively around their aggressive composition. But again, ESC Ever looked like they didn't know what the timings were for their team fights and when to actually go in. They certainly didn't need to take any of those early Drake fights for Cloud Drakes.
I mean, when Afreeca just keeps handing you these fights that look very tempting, though, you kind of are tempted to go in. Well, we'll see who takes game three, guys. Don't go anywhere. May not be the cleanest League of Legends you've ever seen, but it's definitely going to be entertaining. When we come back, we'll see who wins this best of three. Yeah, that's right. See you then. How about maybe now?
Nope.
No. Oh,
try again.
And end scene. That always works on TV. Oh well, it's the internet.
아, 통누나.
위클리 통신으로 인사 뵙게 된 OGN의 최동희입니다. 잘 부탁드립니다.
아, 박수 한번 드려야 되는 거 아니에요, 이거?
정말 난리가 나셨어요. 그냥 한번 화면만 잡히셔도 다들 막 폭발하고.
LCK에서 에스트로겐을 맡게 되었습니다.
네?
에스트로겐. 예. 달아오르게 만드는 게 있잖아요.
아이고,
아이고.
정신이 하나도 없습니다. 오랜만에 카메라 앞에 서니까 진짜 혼이 나가는 것 같은데.
저희가 또 보내드려야 될 시간이고 다음 주에 또 볼 수 있습니다. 너무 좋죠?
너무. 일주일에 한 번만 너무 길게 너무 많이 남았잖아요. 이대로 끝인가요? 오늘 월요일인데.
LCK는 OGN과 함께 시청을 꼭.
그대로 멈춰라가 우레프가 앞으로 가거든요. 독이 됐고요. 그리고 이대로 됐어요. 그렇습니다. 됐어요. 네, 끝났네요. 치즈. 야, 이게 또
됐어. 정민이 잘, 목수 잘, 마흔이 잘, 통화이 잘.
중에 내가 있자.
힘들지 않았어. 상대가 그냥. 나
전혀 힘들지 않아.
여기서 한번 폴드모스 바로 앞에였나? 그쵸, 여기 폴드모스 좋았죠.
때려버리면서 바로 먹어. 먹었어요. 자, 중력자, 누구? 우타나. 소천사 아직은 닉스는데요. 터졌고요. 닉스를 죽었어요. 닉스 죽었습니다. 소천사 안 돌아온 타이밍이었거든요. 네. 소천사.
그냥 뚝딱. 시작하기 전에 안경인데 안경 닦고 할라 했는데 이게 안경이 빠지면 뭐라 돼?
그래서 인터뷰에 대해서 안타까움을 표시하셨었는데 어떻게 좀 만족스러우신가요?
좀 칙칙한 것 같아요.
내가 왜 여기서 이러고 있는지.
아니, 프레이 선수의 잘생긴 얼굴을 보고 있노라니 잠깐 제가 넋이 나가서 짜최 몇이냐?
3개 정도.
이 롤은 2년 전에 질렸고요.
김동준 해설이 등장했거든요. 실물로 보시니까 혹시 어떤가요?
잘생기고 몸이 좋으시기 때문에 많이 닮으신 것 같아요.
정말 잘생긴 두 분이랑 인터뷰하게 돼서 기분이 너무 좋습니다.
아니, 프레이 선수가 LOL 판에서 사실 3대 미남 정도 들어가잖아요. 네. 아, 진짜 영광입니다. 네.
감독님이 진짜 명장 감독님이 진짜 명장 발동하셔가지고 진짜 영병술